all of it. It has to stop. Mr. President, if you're going to take a position of leadership, show some.
This Republican election official from Georgia blasting those in his party who continue to support without evidence allegations that the vote was rigged. Now, after some started making threats, this official says if you haven't said anything, you are complicit. Who gets the vaccine? The CDC panel today voting on recommendations for which Americans should be at the front of the line, as the head of the FDA is summoned to the White House amid growing pressure from President Trump to approve the vaccine for emergency use, when the first doses could possibly be available. Hospitalizations at record highs, nearing 100,000 COVID patients across the country. The fatigued frontline workers at risk. One of them joining us tonight, admitting a patient with a hateful tattoo made him question his compassion. Here's this apparent neo-Nazi with a giant symbol of hate on his chest who needs your help. You're Jewish. Tell us what happened next.
Really made me double down and look into myself and extend that compassion towards him.
Attorney General Bill Barr says the Justice Department has found no evidence of widespread voting fraud, while President-elect Joe Biden says help is on the way, urging Congress to approve a new stimulus plan, the latest on the transition. Oral arguments today in Bill Cosby's appeal to get his conviction overturned. The response from the majority of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court justices giving some hope to the comedian. His representative shares Cosby's reaction from prison. The Point Guy joins us to talk about why you should be planning ahead now to get the best deals on post-pandemic travel, and how a couple of funny Hollywood stars ended up being the owners of a struggling soccer club in a Welsh mining town.
We really think the sky's the limit.
Our Maggie Rulli gets us some answers. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Tonight, we begin with a life or death question that is now being debated across the country. Who should be at the front of the line to get the COVID vaccine? A CDC advisory committee weighing in today with some key recommendations at a meeting in Atlanta. But the executive decision will ultimately be up to governors and local officials. Some are already expressing disappointment tonight after learning the number of doses that they'll get. Now, this comes as COVID hospitalizations are approaching 100,000, as we still wait to see the impact of the holiday weekend on cases and deaths. And today, the White House summoned the FDA commissioner, demanding to know why regulators have not yet approved the vaccine developed by Pfizer. Our Steve Osinsami leads us off tonight from Atlanta.
American health officials tonight are calling it Phase 1A. After an emergency meeting in Atlanta, they've decided to encourage the nation's governors to give the first available doses of the coronavirus vaccine to certain seniors and healthcare workers.
In discussions with the jurisdictions, most of them believe that they can vaccinate all of their healthcare workers within 3 weeks.
The government is expecting about 40 million doses from 2 drug makers in the next few weeks, enough to immunize 20 million Americans. The experts took a vote and said that the best use of these first shipments is to first cover some of the heroes, the nation's 21 million healthcare workers, including those who work in hospitals, pharmacies, and clinics. And they say we also need to try and first immunize the most at risk, the nation's 3 million seniors and the people who care for them, who live in nursing homes and assisted living. 40% of all coronavirus deaths in this country happened in these long-term care facilities.
If we can pull together as a country and in the next 60 days vaccinate all of these residents, we can cut the death rate almost in half.
The FDA still hasn't yet approved any of the vaccines for emergency use, and the head of the agency got an earful from the White House today because of this. He explains that the Pfizer vaccine could get a green light after a meeting next week.
No one at FDA is sitting on his hands or her hands. Everybody's working really hard to look at these applications and get this done.
Once the FDA says yes, the states have to make tough decisions. California, for example, will get about 327,000 doses in the next few weeks, but there are more than 2.4 million Californians who work in healthcare. In the city of Chicago, about 25,000 doses are already dedicated.
We have plans that will start with all 37 Chicago hospitals, and we have plans for all 128 long-term care facilities.
Next in line, as more vaccine becomes available, about 87 million essential U.S. workers, like police officers, teachers, and grocery store workers.
So it appears healthcare workers and the elderly are first up. Steve Osunsami joins us now from Atlanta, where that key CDC meeting took place today. Steve, talk to us about how the CDC broke down Americans into groups and what that means for the rollout if the vaccine is approved.
So they looked at sort of two different issues. One was, what is the best use of the vaccine in terms of who's most at risk, and also what was the right thing to do and the right groups to give the vaccine to first. And of course, doctors and nurses, healthcare professionals, especially those who are treating patients with COVID-19, were at the top of the list. Also, seniors and long-term care facilities. 40% of all coronavirus deaths were tied to long-term care facilities in America. So those groups were also at the top. Following those two groups are going to be essential workers, police officers, firefighters. That group is next. Then Americans who have pre-existing medical conditions that make them more susceptible to COVID-19, the issues surrounding COVID-19. And then Americans over the age of 65. So they've broken Americans into these different groups who are first, second, and third in line, but they still underline that by the summer of next year, there should be enough available vaccine for most Americans to get their 2 doses. Lindsay?
Steve Osunsami, thanks for breaking it all down for us. We appreciate it. Joining us now, former CDC Director Dr. Richard Besser. Dr. B, thanks so much for your time tonight. So help explain this all for us. I mean, we thankfully hear good news about the vaccine quite frequently now, but we know it could be months down the line for the average American. Are you worried that Americans might not actually rush out to get vaccinated once they finally do get the opportunity to get a dose, especially given that the FDA, which is now looking at these vaccines, previously issued an emergency authorization for hydroxychloroquine only to later revoke it?
Well, I'm worried about 2 things, Lindsay, when it comes to the vaccine. One is that we could have safe and effective vaccines and not enough people want to get those. The polling in terms of trust around this is extremely low, a lot having to do with how much politics has gone into the approval process for drugs to date. The other thing, though, that really concerns me is that there's been so much exciting news about vaccines is that many people may get the misunderstanding that we no longer need to do those things that we know will control this pandemic right now. And that's wearing masks, social distancing, hand washing, looking to limit your indoor exposure to other people. This is the most dangerous period of the pandemic right now as we go into winter when respiratory viruses do so incredibly well.
And we saw your former colleagues at the CDC come out today with vaccine recommendations for state and local officials. In your mind, what should be the role of the federal government in these difficult decisions about who gets access to the vaccine first?
Well, I think the role of the federal government is to make recommendations. The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices that came out today with the recommendation on healthcare workers and residents of long-term care facilities, that gives a national approach. And now states will have to take their allocation and say, okay, within our individual state, how are we going to divvy that up? But so often during this pandemic, we haven't had that national standard, that idea against which all states can operate. As a pediatrician, I always look to the CDC and the ACIP, this committee, to give us recommendations around flu vaccine, around whooping cough vaccine, all of the immunizations that we give to children, we give to adults. The recommendations come from this committee.
And finally, the CDC reduced, as you know, its quarantine guidelines today for those with possible exposures but had a negative test to 7 days and 10 days without a test, with record cases and hospitalizations surging. Do you have faith that this decision was based on sound science? And if so, would you say that this is also an admission then that many Americans were turning their lives upside down for days at a time when they really didn't need to?
Well, I think, if you look at that tail of what happens at 10 to 12 days or 10 to 14 days, that end period, that's a period where, yes, it is still possible for someone who's been exposed to develop symptoms and become the ability to transmit to other people, but it gets much smaller. It's also a recognition, I think, and it's a sad recognition, that Congress has not given people the resources they need to be able to quarantine, to be able to isolate and not lose their jobs. Not, to the idea that you're going to stay home for 2 weeks and not be able to put food on the table or pay rent, that is unconscionable. And if Congress doesn't put the dollars out there, we're going to see fewer and fewer people willing to say who they had contact with, willing to do those things to reduce transmission.
Dr. Richard Besser, thanks as always for your time.
Thanks, Lindsay.
And as these vaccine discussions heat up here in New York City, ICUs are 2/3 full. Hospitals are calling on retired nurses and doctors. So many have returned already. Tonight, one doctor for a second time. Our Tom Yamas has more.
Tonight, as cases surge, New York issuing new warnings, calling for help and fearing a return to the early and dire days of this pandemic. In New York City, hospitalizations more than doubling over the past 3 weeks, the highest since June. And the mayor asking older adults and people with underlying health conditions to limit activities outside the home, to only travel for work, school, or essential purposes.
We need you. We need you if you're older, you have pre-existing conditions, to take additional precautions.
The city also asking for people to donate blood, as ICUs are 2/3 full. And New York Governor Andrew Cuomo calling on retired healthcare workers to return to the front lines. Dr. Ann Saxberg coming out of retirement for a second time to pitch in.
I wish that that we would recognize that we're all in this boat together. Some people die of this, and we really need to take care of each other.
Across the country tonight, the U.S. nearing another terrible milestone. 100,000 people in the hospital with COVID-19, and healthcare workers bracing for that nightmare scenario, a surge upon a surge.
We're all very tired. I'm very tired.
We're preparing for the worst.
It doesn't get easier.
In Reno, Nevada, Dr. Jacob Keeperman posting this photo saying he'd seen 5 deaths in the previous 32 hours.
We, at some point, might get to a breaking point.
And still, some medical workers are paying the ultimate price. Gary Woodward worked as an ICU nurse in Nashville for 25 years.
He had a passion for caring for his patients.
Woodward dying Saturday at the same hospital he worked for so long.
His family was his all. Everything we did together as a family. He was our rock, and that rock is gone.
So many just stinging losses. Our thanks to Tom for that. And we've certainly been hearing about the severe shortage of medical staff throughout this crisis. Here in New York, many doctors and nurses have described being pushed to their limits. And one doctor, Taylor Nichols, an ER physician with Vituity working at Mercy San Juan Medical Center, is coming forward with an admission, sharing in a series of Twitter posts that his compassion was called into question when a particular patient fell under his care. Now, Dr. Nichols tweeted he was solidly built, older. His methamphetamine use over the years had taken its usual toll, and his teeth were all but gone. The swastika stood out boldly on his chest. SS tattoos and other insignia that had previously been covered by his shirt were now obvious to the room. Dr. Nichols is kind enough to join us now. Thanks so much for joining us, Doctor. Take us back to that moment, if you would. You've been working how many hours that week, and here's this apparent neo-Nazi with a giant symbol of hate on his chest who needs your help. You're Jewish. Tell us what happened next.
Yeah, thanks so much for interviewing, and thanks so much for asking. So it was obviously a little bit of a difficult situation, and he was significantly ill, and we had to intubate him, which is to put a breathing tube down his throat. And in that moment, I questioned how I felt about it, because being Jewish, seeing that symbol of hate, knowing that, that same compassion may not otherwise have been extended towards me if the roles were reversed, really made me double down and look into myself and extend that compassion towards him, do everything I could to save his life. And we did perform those life-saving measures and intubated him. But that moment caused me to question. I've never felt quite so challenged in that way in my compassion before.
And you say that we carried out this. The nurse with you was Black. The respiratory therapist was Asian. What was their reaction?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was a very busy night in the emergency department, and we didn't have time to debrief about it. But certainly everybody noticed, commented outside the room as we prepared, but none of us questioned what we were doing. We all signed up for this. We are, deeply compassionate and deeply passionate about what we do. And so we were going to go ahead and do, what we signed up for and work to save lives. But certainly it weighed on us.
You've been on the front lines of this crisis for months now. You've seen many Americans refuse to wear a mask, some questioning if the virus is even real. How has this pandemic really weighed on you and your colleagues?
That's the biggest question, and that's the hugest challenge to us, is that, we see the numbers rising. We see more and more cases coming into the emergency department. We see more and more patients getting sick and severely ill. What we really wish is that, just as we're digging deep and doubling down on our compassion, to extend that compassion towards others who may not even believe in this virus and may not be taking precautions, that I really wish, my biggest ask would be that people dig down deep into their compassion and take safety measures, take precautions, wear masks, and really do our best to double down and make sure that we do what we can to start to flatten the curve again. We see now with the vaccine seeking emergency use authorization that we know the end is in sight, and we know that we can save lives if we just follow the CDC guidelines, if we take precautions, and we can get through this, but we have to do it together.
You just mentioned your biggest ask. What's your biggest need in this moment? I mean, some doctors and nurses have been going on strike or threatening to do so over a number of concerns, calling attention to the lack of proper equipment and staffing shortages. What would you say that you need most right now?
Honestly, I'd say that my biggest need would be the same. It's the same as the ask. It's that I need people to listen. I need people to believe us. I need people to really do everything they can now. And if it means not seeing your friends, not going out, and just wearing masks, staying outside, following, again, the CDC guidelines to take precautions, that's what we need. We need to see that the numbers of cases go down. We need to see less and less of the severely ill patients who are coming in because of this virus.
Dr. Taylor Nichols, a heartfelt thank you to you and your colleagues for all of your tireless work and for sharing your story with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Tonight, the nation's top law enforcement official has dealt another major blow to President Trump's unsubstantiated claims of voter fraud. Attorney General William Barr telling the AP the Justice Department has found no evidence to support widespread fraud that could change the results. This comes as state officials, including some Republicans, are getting increasingly frustrated with the president's rhetoric. Our Jonathan Karl reports in from Washington.
Attorney General Bill Barr arrived at the White House today just minutes after declaring he has found no evidence of widespread voter fraud, directly contradicting the president's claims that the election was stolen.
We know there was massive fraud.
But Barr told the Associated Press today, quote, "We have not seen fraud on a scale that could have affected a different outcome in the election." He specifically shot down one of the president's most explosive claims, that voting machines were manipulated to help Joe Biden win, saying simply, "We haven't seen anything to substantiate that." This is especially significant because Barr has been among the president's most steadfast defenders. Shortly after the election, he authorized Justice Department lawyers to go look for fraud, but they found nothing. The president recently implied that DOJ itself was involved in some kind of sinister plot.
This is total fraud, and how the FBI and Department of Justice, I don't know, maybe they're involved.
For Attorney General Barr, this was just too much. As he told the AP, there's a growing tendency to use the criminal justice system as a sort of default fix-all, and people don't like something, they want the Department of Justice to come in and investigate. All this comes as the president's lawyers are traveling the country making unfounded claims of election fraud.
It's disgraceful what happened.
The lawyers and the president himself have attacked local Republican officials who have certified the election results. Some of those officials are now facing death threats. Today, a Republican official in the office of Georgia's Secretary of State is pleading with the president to stop.
Stop inspiring people to commit potential acts of violence. Someone's going to get hurt, someone's going to get shot, someone's going to get killed.
Certainly some pointed words there for the president. Jonathan Karl joins us now from Washington. And John, in those fiery words, Georgia election official Gabe Sterling pleaded with public officials, including the president, to speak out against this hateful rhetoric.
Yeah, very strong words. And Lindsay, frankly, it's alarming. You heard a lawyer associated with the president's legal team, Joe DeGeneva, actually call out for one of these officials to be taken out and shot. That was regarding Mr. Krebs, the cybersecurity official who was fired by the president after saying that the election went off without any major incidents of fraud. So the rhetoric is really incendiary, and it's dangerous, and we are seeing officials getting death threats.
And John, switching gears now, ABC News has also learned tonight that allies of the president have begun discussing pardons, including potentially for the members of the president's own family.
Yeah, this would be pardons potentially for the president's adult children. We've also learned from multiple sources that Rudy Giuliani has directly raised the issue of a pardon for him, a preemptive pardon, although Giuliani tonight is denying that report. No word yet from the president, but you can be sure that pardons is going to be very high on his list of things to do before he leaves the White House.
But as you said, that keyword preemptive, because none of these people that they're discussing have even been charged with anything.
Yes, preemptive pardon, which is what was done in the case when Gerald Ford issued a pardon of Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon hadn't been charged with any criminal offenses at that point. It was a preemptive pardon for any charges he could face for actions while he was in the White House. So that's the kind of thing they're discussing. But remember, Lindsay, a presidential pardon only applies to federal charges. So it would not help in any way charges on the state level if they were, for instance, to face charges in New York State.
Jonathan Karl for us tonight. Thanks so much, John.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Now to President-elect Joe Biden tonight with a message for Americans struggling to get by. Help is on the way. Biden introduced members of his economics team today, keeping his promise to nominate a diverse group focused on working families. Biden's team will inherit an economy reeling from the worst recession in a century. Our Mary Bruce reports from Washington.
Today in Miami, hundreds lining up to get help buying groceries as the pandemic devastates the nation's economy. President-elect Joe Biden today speaking directly to these suffering Americans.
Our message to everybody struggling right now is this: help is on the way.
Biden today introducing the team that he says will rebuild the economy. Former Fed Chair Janet Yellen, his pick for Treasury Secretary.
It's an American tragedy, and it's essential that we move with urgency.
The scope of the economic crisis is massive. More than 50 million Americans could go hungry this year. Nearly 7 million are at risk of eviction, and more than 20 million are now on unemployment. One of them, 60-year-old Diana Adelmo of San Antonio, Texas, who was laid off.
I feel just scared that I want to stay positive and think, oh, maybe, something will come, but I don't know at this point. I don't know.
Biden imploring Congress to act now.
The full Congress should come together and pass a robust package for relief.
Our thanks to Mary for that. And when we come back, the bizarre attacks outside of Boston, all unprovoked and random. Police believe the motive is, quote, the thrill of the assault. The horrific scene, a car plowing through pedestrians overseas, several dead, including a 9-month-old. But up next, Pennsylvania Supreme Court justices question the inclusion of prior bad acts witnesses included in the prosecution of Bill Cosby, why an appeals court could overturn the convicted comedian's guilty verdict.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know seems to change, well, like every day. So what is it that you really need to know, want to know, to help you not just get through your day, but make the most of it? Feel smarter, feel better, feel happier. Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon? GMA 3, what you need to know. It's all about you. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. This is going to be so good.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown Hate, The War Among Us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
What you're seeing right now, this is part of the eye wall. This procession of migrants goes back 2 miles.
There is going to be catastrophic damage.
This fire has made a run. You can see those flames shooting up into the sky.
We are on the jam-packed red carpet.
To the right, guys.
So this is the 4th weekend of protest.
Watch ABC News on location for Facebook Watch.
Your mom said, comb your hair. Your dad told you, smarten up. Your dog is judging you right now. And your best friend just called you crazy. We all need someone who'll pull no punches and give it to us straight. Now imagine getting your news like that. No bull, no spin, just give it to me straight. Straightforward news, straight to the heart of the story. ABC News, straightforward.
What's the most innovative daily news podcast out there to listen to every day? Well, the Edward R. Murrow Awards say it's Start Here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. Even the New York Times calls us a top news podcast worth listening to. So if you like getting behind the biggest news stories of the day, inside all the details, the backstory, and what will happen next, then listen to Start Here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. It's like no other news podcast out there. Even the critics agree. Listen free on Apple Podcasts.
And now to a major development in the sexual assault case against disgraced comedian Bill Cosby. Today, justices of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court seemed open to one of Cosby's arguments that his 2018 conviction for assaulting Andrea Constand should be overturned, which could make him a free man. During Cosby's retrial for the 2004 assault of Constand, the judge allowed 5 other women to testify, claiming that they were also drugged and assaulted by the entertainer. In a virtual court hearing today, Cosby's lawyer said these so-called prior bad act witnesses caused prejudice and shouldn't have been allowed to testify, while prosecutors said that they helped prove Cosby had a pattern of criminal behavior. It's a murky area of law now on appeal before Pennsylvania's highest court, but today during oral arguments, some justices seemed to agree with Cosby's claim of prejudice, even suggesting he didn't get a fair trial. Cosby has already served more than 2 years of his prison sentence. And we are joined tonight by Bill Cosby's public relations and crisis manager, Andrew Wyatt. Andrew, thanks so much for coming on the show. Now, of course, Bill Cosby remains behind bars and did not attend this virtual hearing. What did you tell him about it, and what was his response?
Well, look, he called this morning after oral arguments, 20 minutes after oral arguments were done. And he was very enthusiastic. He was optimistic, though. And I told him that Attorney Jennifer Bongine represented him well. She presented well. She handled the questions well. And she just gave a great argument for his freedom and for the justices today in the Pennsylvania State Supreme Court to vacate his conviction. And if not vacate his conviction, warrant him a new trial. And he was excited to hear that.
And what was your take? I mean, did you feel that the justices seemed open to throwing out Cosby's conviction based on those 5 so-called prior bad act witnesses? And if this happens, would it come to a surprise to Cosby and his team?
Well, first and foremost, the justices were fair and balanced. This is something that was unique for us. We've never seen this. We never saw this during both of the trials. And in both of his trials in Montgomery County, we saw a judge who we called the hanging judge, who was, partners with the prosecution to get a conviction. But this all stemmed from actual case that the state Supreme Court of Pennsylvania heard quietly, an appeal case for a death row inmates by the name of Charles Hicks, who murdered a woman in the Pocono Mountains and was convicted. And they brought in 3 women from Texas who claimed that he had beaten and choked them. So the justices were confused because 7 justices issued 5 different opinions. And so they've been confused on this murky law called 404B. And that gave a rise for us when we submitted our appeal. And because of who Bill Cosby is, it gave attention to the matter. And they said we will agree to review his appeal. So that's how we got to this stage to say that the 404B witness that was issued in the Cosby case had nothing to do with Andrea Constand. And Mr. Cosby went into a trial thinking that he was going to be tried against a person who accused him, Andrea Constand, but he ended up having a total of 6 trials opposed to 1 with 5 other women.
And right, just to keep people up to speed who weren't paying a lot of attention, Bill Cosby was tried 2 times. The first time the judge allowed just 1 prior bad act witness, and the second time he allowed 5. Now, Pennsylvania law allows testimony of so-called prior bad act witnesses when they can help establish the defendant's pattern of behavior, or MO. So why do you think that Bill Cosby's case was different from others that allowed it?
Well, first and foremost, if you remember in the first trial, we didn't even put on a defense. There was 1 witness, Kelly Johnson. Well, in the second trial, the prosecution was given an a la carte menu of 19 women. Now, they could have used all 19 women. Then the judge, we filed a motion. He said, well, I will grant them to pick the best 5 that they want. Well, out of all of those women, they never had similar patterns to Andrea Constand. If you remember her alleged allegation against Mr. Cosby, she said that he gave her some pills, which he admitted to Benadryl, to incapacitate her so he could have sex with her, and he digital penetrated her. Well, those 5 prior women, they had a distance of 21-year span.
How confident are you, though, Andrew, that without the testimony of these 5 women, that Cosby would have been acquitted, especially after dozens of women had come forward in the press to accuse him of assault dating back to the 1980s?
Well, look, we were very confident because, first of all, not any of these women filed any charges. They never made an accusation 20, 30, 15 years ago. They never said anything about this. This all happened and sparked because of a self-proclaimed civil rights attorney, Gloria Allred, coming out and bringing over 60 women out saying something happened. But no proof, no evidence, no rape kit, no drug test, no blood test. So we were very confident that Mr. Cosby would have prevailed.
Andrew Wyatt, thanks so much for coming on the show. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Lindsay.
And still ahead here on Prime, the man found clinging to his sinking boat finally speaks out from dry land. With hopes of a looming vaccine, travel sites are reporting soaring bookings for future travel. If you're in the market, we'll speak with the points guy. Plus, why so often are great athletes younger siblings? We take a look by the numbers. But first, our tweet of the day. The Oscar nominee who once played a pregnant teenager announcing he will now go as Elliot Page.
This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live, the 24/7 streaming news source, ABC News. Wow. Breaking news, live events as they happen, streaming live, nonstop, straight to you. Original, on the edge, breakthrough storytelling. From ABC News, National Geographic, ESPN, all designed differently for you to stream straight to any screen whenever you want, free. And imagine the most celebrated, epic live events and moments, all playing out right before your eyes.
See those flames behind me?
And go deeper inside the groundbreaking exclusives from the campaign trail only ABC News gets. Watch ABC News Live right now and anytime. Streaming on Roku, Hulu, Facebook, and abcnews.com.
ABC News Live.
Streaming everywhere, right to you.
ABC News Live.
The Americans here on the ground and the Iraqis. 18,000 tons. Patatas. Ismail? David. Over ground zero from Hurricane Michael. You can see just home after home. David, nice to meet you. This was your view.
My favorite view.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, mornings may look different these days, but where you start your day,
where you spend your mornings, where you get connected to everything that's happening.
And face it, there's a whole lot happening in our world these days.
Where you get all the breaking new information of the day to help you navigate through these times.
That's why we're here.
Good morning, sunshine.
And making sure you start your day off with a smile and some sunshine.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. Oh, how I love saying that.
Wake me up.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
ABC News honored winner for the second straight year with the Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television. ABC News, America's #1 news source.
This is GMA3, what you need to know. GMA3.
A third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon.
It's all about you. Lunchtime on ABC.
Welcome back, everybody. We turn now to new research that younger siblings may have a better shot at becoming elite athletes than their older brothers and sisters. Here's a look by the numbers, and we'll start with some examples. 23 Grand Slams, that's the record of the unrivaled Serena Williams, while older sister Venus has 7 Grand Slam singles titles to her name. Still impressive, of course. The youngest of 3 boys, Michael Jordan, is arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. Elite athletes have, on average, 1.04 older siblings, while near elite athletes have just 0.61 older siblings on average, according to a study by University of Utah professor Mark Williams and 538 contributor Tim Wigmore. About 75% of athletes vying for a spot on the U.S. women's national soccer team have an older sibling, including stars Megan Rapinoe, Mia Hamm, and Alex Morgan, while only 20% are the oldest child, according to a 2014 study. In baseball, younger brothers were 2.5 times more likely than older brothers to record superior career batting statistics, according to a 2010 study of brothers in the MLB. And finally, younger siblings, like me, are about 40% more likely to be allowed to play dangerous contact sports as kids, as one study found. And we still have lots to get to here on Prime. How did one of the world's oldest soccer teams located in a quiet corner of northern Wales get bought by these 2 actors? We'll have the remarkable story coming up. The former NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden said to become a citizen of Russia, but what about his U.S. passport? But first, a look at our top trending stories on abcnews.com.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. #1 in the morning, #1 in the evening, with America's most watched newscast. #1 in late night versus the competition. #1 in politics, and most watched on this historic election night versus the competition. The #1 daytime talk show, and #1 in streaming news. Most trusted, most watched. ABC News is America's #1 news.
What's the most innovative daily news podcast out there to listen to every day? Well, the Edward R. Murrow Awards say it's Start Here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. Even the New York Times calls us a top top news podcast worth listening to. So if you like getting behind the biggest news stories of the day, inside all the details, the backstory, and what will happen next, then listen to Start Here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. It's like no other news podcast out there. Even the critics agree. Listen free on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, mornings may look different these days, but where you start your day,
where you spend your mornings, where you get connected to everything that's happening.
And face it, there's a whole lot happening in our world these days.
Where you get all the breaking new information of the day to help you navigate through these times.
That's why we're here.
Good morning, sunshine.
And making sure you start your day off with a smile and some sunshine.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. Oh, how I love saying that.
Wake me up.
The most powerful stories of our time, anytime. Nightline.
Friday nights, 9/8 Central. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime. 2020. Friday nights, 9/8 Central on ABC.
American health officials tonight are calling it Phase 1A. After an emergency meeting in Atlanta, they've decided to encourage the nation's governors to give the first available doses of the coronavirus vaccine to certain seniors and healthcare workers.
In discussions with the jurisdictions, most of them believe that they can vaccinate all of their healthcare workers within 3 weeks.
The government is expecting about 40 million doses from 2 drug makers in the next few weeks, enough to immunize 20 million Americans. The experts took a vote and said that the best use of these first shipments is to first cover some of the heroes, the nation's 21 million healthcare workers, including those who work in hospitals, pharmacies, and clinics. And they say we also need to try and first immunize the most at risk, the nation's 3 million seniors and the people who care for them, who live in nursing homes and assisted living.
The decision will ultimately be made by states and cities who will be in charge of distributing the vaccine, a process the former CDC director says won't be easy.
This is probably the single most complicated vaccination program in American history.
A car crash that killed 5 people, including a 9-month-old.
A car drove into a pedestrian zone in the southwestern German city of Trier. Ambulances were quickly on the scene. Over a dozen people have been injured, some seriously. The driver's been arrested and the vehicle's been impounded. Locals are being asked to stay away from the center of town. No word at this stage on the cause. Trier, a city of some 110,000, lies about 120 miles west of Frankfurt, near the border with Luxembourg.
Former security contractor Edward Snowden and his wife are set to receive Russian citizenship without renouncing their U.S. citizenship. Quoted by Russian news agency Interfax, Snowden's lawyer says the runaway American will obtain the needed documents to apply by week's end. Snowden has been living in Russia since 2013 to escape prosecution in America after leaking classified documents about government surveillance programs. The couple is expecting a child in December. A community locked in fear after random attacks in Waltham, Massachusetts, just west of Boston. Police releasing this surveillance video of an individual they described as a suspect in a string of assaults.
The assaults have all occurred without warning, with the assailant typically approaching the victim from behind.
10 people, all men of various races and ethnicities, have been assaulted since November 10th in the New England town. Initially, police say the attacks occurred at an apartment complex, but have since spread out across the community of about 63,000. Emerson Bass was the 9th victim targeted.
This bone is cracked, the bottom is cracked, my nose is cracked, you can see.
Emerson says he was attacked from behind the day before Thanksgiving, and because of the injuries, which include facial fractures, police say they believe a blunt force weapon is being used.
The motive is somewhat in question, but it appears to be a thrill of the assault.
That missing boater rescued at sea, now back on dry land. Stuart B. spending hours clinging to his boat. It had capsized. He was found 86 miles off the Florida coast. He described the moment flagging down the container ship that rescued him, docking today in Delaware.
I took my shirt off
just waved that several times, waved it several times, and I continued to do that until about 45 minutes later the boat was close enough.
He called members of the crew the nicest guys ever.
Welcome back. For some, it may seem far-fetched. For others, an optimistic opportunity for a much-needed break. So much so, many are now throwing caution to the wind and planning trips in the middle of a pandemic. In addition to Giving Tuesday, today is also Travel Deal Tuesday, when you can traditionally find some of the best flight and hotel savings of the year. And with news of possible vaccines, some sites, they are seeing bookings soar. Becky Worley has more.
Want to get away?
Don't you know it? With the hopes of a vaccine on the horizon, travel sites say they're seeing an uptick in people planning trips. One experiencing a 42% increase in weekly reservations for 2021, all since November 9th, the week the efficacy of the first vaccine was announced.
So there's a lot of pent-up demand for travel right now. And when the vaccine announcement came out, the phones started ringing at travel agencies. For 2021, they are planning epic trips. These are the bucket list trips.
And the good news, Travel Deal Tuesday is making it more affordable than ever, especially this year. The travel site Hopper says prices are expected to be 34% lower than last year, bringing even deeper discounts. Top dream destinations include the Caribbean, Mexico, and Hawaii. Southwest offering one-way flights from California to Maui for just $99. And another warm destination? Fly Frontier Airlines from Newark to San Juan, Puerto Rico for just $41 round trip. Carissa Cummings has been waiting for this moment. The vaccine news helping her and her husband finally feel confident enough to book their first major trips with their 18-month-old son, heading to Colombia and Turkey.
We've gone ahead and made those decisions and those commitments, knowing that this is now sort of a light at the end of the tunnel.
Many people are already thinking about that post-pandemic travel. Our thanks to Becky. And to continue the conversation on snagging the best deals this Travel Tuesday, I want to bring in Brian Kelly, the founder and CEO of The Points Guy. Thanks so much for joining us, Brian. Let's get right to it, starting with booking the flight. Where are you seeing the best rates, and what are some of the most popular destinations for that big post-pandemic trip that people may be planning for next year?
Yeah, there are tons of deals right now on Travel Tuesday. There have been some on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and they kind of culminate today. And the good thing is it's not just to one destination. Airlines are having sales wherever they fly and well into 2021. JetBlue has flight package deals, so you can choose wherever you want to go. And the best part is with airfare is now you can change your flights for free on most airlines. So you can book now, and if things change, you can always change it next year with no fee.
So what about all those frequent flyer miles that many have been holding on to, like me, while we're waiting for an opportunity to travel? Is it better to double up and use those miles now while they're low?
Absolutely. You know, people have been hoarding points this year because we haven't been able to travel. So I highly recommend using points and frequent flyer miles, because the airlines will actually let you refund totally and get your points and miles back, even if you want to change your trip for whatever reason. So it's kind of like buying a refundable airfare. Even though the change fees on paid tickets are waived, you don't get your money back unless you use your frequent flyer miles. So I say use them and save your cold hard cash to use at your destination.
And once the flight is booked, bags are packed, you have a place to stay. What are your tips for getting the biggest bang for your buck out of your hotel?
Well, hotels are on sale now as well. You know, Marriott has a 15% discount on gift cards, which means you can use them at pretty much any Marriott property into the future. So it gives a lot of flexibility. But if you're not married to one brand, I recommend hotels.com. It has thousands and thousands of hotels around the world, and you get one free night for every 10 that you pay for. So that's like a 10% rebate right off the bat.
There's still so much up in the air with regards to COVID-19. Say you book a trip and later decide that you don't feel safe to fly, or worse, you get sick and can't fly. Could you book today and then postpone your trip, or is there a penalty that you'd have to suffer for canceling? And what can you do to make sure that your wallet doesn't take a major hit?
Well, the bright side of this crisis in the travel industry, it has forced the airlines to waive those change fees, and that's forever. Well, at least so they say. So yes, you can change your flight for whatever reason, but you won't get your money back. But I always recommend call the airline, be really nice and say, hey, do you mind refunding this flight? Because, you know, you certainly can't pay your rent with airline vouchers. So it never hurts to ask and be extra nice.
It always helps, of course, to be nice. And let's talk logistics really quickly. Different destinations have different rules around COVID testing and quarantining once you're there. Where can Americans actually go? Where do you recommend right now? And should travelers consider getting trip insurance just to be safe while they're on vacation?
Yeah, well, there's not a whole lot of places Americans can go right now. Most of Europe and Asia are blocked off to Americans for tourist reasons. I'm personally going to Africa this Christmas and New Year's. Rwanda, Kenya are open to Americans, and also Dubai. I'll be ringing in the new year there. But if you want to stay closer to home, Mexico is probably the best option because they don't require a COVID test. But a lot of the Caribbean is open as well. But the key is testing, and being able to get a test result within usually 3 days of departure can be tricky. So I highly recommend plan ahead, because what we saw over this Thanksgiving was that lines for COVID tests got really long. So make your reservation in advance. And as far as the travel insurance, most doesn't cover COVID unless you get a cancel for any reason policy, but those are really expensive, and I generally don't recommend them. So what I recommend is wait it out, book last minute when you're confident you're going to go, and there still can be some amazing deals.
Dubai sounds amazing for the holidays. And are you away anywhere right now? Are we coming to you live from a hotel room somewhere?
I am coming to you live from the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas. I decided to check it out, see what it's like here. It's pretty empty, and the room rates are ridiculously low. So, I'm just a sucker for a travel deal.
I'm sure you have a suite there for free. Brian, thanks so much. We appreciate your insight and help with all of our travel tips. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And when we come back, how 2 Hollywood actors took over a Welsh soccer club and got the buy-in of the whole community over Zoom.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. #1 in the morning, #1 in the evening, with America's most watched newscast. #1 in late night versus the competition. #1 in politics, and most watched on this historic election night versus the competition. The #1 daytime talk show, and #1 in streaming news. Most trusted, most watched. ABC News is America's #1 news.
The most powerful stories of our time, anytime. Nightline.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any place else. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir.
We have made it through another week together.
America's most watched program across all of television.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. It's all about you.
What you're seeing right now, this is part of the eye wall. This procession of migrants goes back 2 miles.
There is going to be catastrophic damage.
This fire has made a run. You can see those flames shooting up into the sky.
We are on the jam-packed red carpet.
To the right, guys.
So this is the 4th weekend of protest.
Watch ABC News on location for Facebook Watch.
Breaking news, context, analysis.
With today's extraordinary news cycle,
now is the perfect time for ABC News Live.
A streaming news game changer. The time is now for ABC News Live. Get it, streaming everywhere.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
More Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source.
Finally tonight, a town and its beloved team out to prove that their best days are not behind them. The story just begging for a Hollywood ending and getting it. Our Maggie Ruley now with more.
It's bobsled time!
Cool Runnings, all of the Rockies,
Heck, even dodgeball. Everybody loves a good underdog. And as a fifth-tier team, kind of like the most minor league baseball team, Wrexham is definitely an underdog. But every game night, the local pub is packed.
For lots of people, it's without trying to sound hyperbolic, it is their life.
My family watched Wrexham, and my family before that have watched Wrexham, and that's how it's always been. So, yeah.
In Wrexham, football, soccer to us Americans, really is life.
We're a small town. It's just a footballing town. It's hard to describe if you're not from here, I guess.
Wayne Jones has owned the turf for 14 years and says it doesn't matter that the team is in back-to-back losing seasons. This town always shows up for their team. But tonight in North Wales, there's an extra buzz in the air because tonight, Hollywood is watching.
We really think the sky's the limit.
These two, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, have become the new and unlikely owners of Wrexham Football Club.
I wake up and first thing I think is, have we really been taken over by two Hollywood superstars? Is Deadpool really bought Wrexham Football Club? And it's quite surreal. Things like this don't happen to little old Wrexham.
Now, Ryan and Rob can't make it here just yet because of travel restrictions, but don't worry, we brought their spirit with us to help you picture it. Yes! Yes! Hollywood stars in Wrexham, a former industrial town just across the border into Wales, about 40 minutes from Liverpool. The team, the third oldest football club in the world, with some moments of glory in the past.
Here is Vose. Great dribbling by Don Vose, and still Vose, he gets past another. Oh, what a goal! Don Vose!
But few and far between in recent years. Despite the losses, thousands still show up for every game. Team captain Sean Pearson says playing for Wrexham is like nowhere else.
I think one thing this place does, like a lot of, working class towns, they come together in difficult times.
When the team almost went bankrupt 9 years ago, it was the fans who came to their rescue. Some locals pulling together their life savings to raise enough money to buy the team. And this year, another challenge.
This season has been so tough because of COVID. Some of the players have had the virus. They've had to reschedule games, this one included. Normally, these stands are absolutely packed with fans, but both players and fans say that this new ownership is exactly the hope they need.
Could Deadpool and Mac from Always Sunny really save the day over Zoom?
It was just a really strange evening. We had a couple of friends round, and when we seen Ryan Reynolds had logged on, we kind of thought, yeah, it's not quite right. And then my wife nearly passed out when his face came on the screen. Yeah, crazy.
Ryan and Rob set up a video call to win over that 2,000-plus strong group of fans that now own the team.
We're guardians of this great football club.
Spencer Harris, the team's director and one of many volunteers who currently run the club, says from day one he knew Ryan and Rob were serious.
One of the very first things that they said to me was, we're big sports fans. We know how to run businesses. What we don't know is football, and that gives you a lot of confidence when you're talking to people who are humble enough to say, "I don't know."
They were also quick to embrace the team sponsor.
Try Ivor Williams Trailers. Ivor Williams Trailers has been Britain's leading trailer manufacturer for over 60 years. Why are Rob and I pitching a North Walian trailer manufacturer? Well, because we just became owners of Wrexham Association Football Club, and they're our team sponsor. You may have never heard of Wrexham, the racecourse ground, or Ivor Williams, but you will. We are humbled, and we're already getting to work.
It all worked.
Decide to entrust it to you.
The fans voted 98% in favor of their new famous owners.
Ivor Williams Trailers.
When we visited Ivor Williams, we found that they, like Ryan, are still in shock that their trailer company has now gone viral.
Oh, it's fantastic for the club, the town, North Wales as a whole. It's brilliant. Puts North Wales on the map worldwide.
It's just incredible and a real boost for the community in the time we most need it.
A former mining town, Wrexham was struggling economically even before COVID hit.
A lot of shops have closed. There's a lot of empty premises, a lot of charity shops, and the high street doesn't look anywhere near as vibrant as it used to.
Peter Maddox has been coming to Wrexham games for more than 60 years and says he's seen how the town has changed, but also how the team can bring the town back.
If this club does well, the town will do well. The two are inextricably linked.
In just 1 week, they've already sold half as many jerseys as they normally do in 1 year, many complete with custom Reynolds and Michelini on the back.
Do you think you'll become a Wrexham fan now?
Totally.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be here. I'm going to get a season ticket, yeah.
Are you going to get season tickets because of Ryan and Rob coming in as the new owners?
Yeah, we wouldn't have got them otherwise. Yeah, definitely. Of course it's got to be about Ryan and Rob, yeah.
All eyes are on this small town in North Wales with a team that's a little guy with a lot of heart.
I'm sure they could have got involved with the football club a couple of rungs higher than where we are currently, but it was the journey that they were really interested in and where the fun will be in seeing how far we can go.
But for now, the town is focused on this season. Do you have any message for Ryan and Rob?
Buckle up, it's going to get emotional.
I think it'll be the making of this place.
They'll certainly be welcome with open arms, and they'll certainly, well, they won't have to buy a beer, that's for sure.
What was expected to be a nail-biter ended in a Wrexham 4-0 win. The team seems to be on a winning streak. Quite fitting, as this underdog story is only just getting started.
Raise your voices to the anthem.
Maggie Ruley, ABC News, Wrexham.
And like Maggie says, everybody loves an underdog. Go Wrexham. We are all rooting for you. Our thanks to Maggie. And before we go tonight, the image of the day. Take a look. Those rings, in our opinion, a symbol of hope. The signage in Tokyo reinstated in preparation for the 2021 games. And that is our show for this hour. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us, and good night.